right, Chris Bostick. There's been some speculation online here this week about how you and Chase spent time during this downtime.
Yeah.
I speculated that you've been rollerblading around your pool trying to set a world record. Steve speculated. What did Steve speculate? Did you see that?
He said I was doing something campaigning about my sponsor.
Okay.
Something like that.
Which is what you, you're good at that. What have you been doing in this?
Terry had us at the lake. So we were at the lake and we were just enjoying some time on the water and got some sun and had some friends over. And it was just a good relaxing time. Cleaned the barn a little bit.
Yeah.
Mowed the yard. And replaced the drive belt on the zero-turn lawnmower. It drove.
Okay.
Yeah, so I definitely stayed busy.
Do you have a lawnmower sponsor? I mean, there's so many lawnmower companies and drag racing.
I tell you what, I would make a lawnmower sponsor proud if I could get a new zero-turn. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, there's some people out here we should talk to.
We tried.
Skag. Hello, Skag.
Hello, Skag. We tried really, really hard to get some tickets to Chase's comedy show, but I couldn't. It was sold out every time that matter of fact, it's sold out for the next 6 months.
Wow. Now, is that in the Catskills or is that Vegas? I can't remember.
Oh, I think it was in New Orleans.
Oh, there you go. Even better. Even better. So you got a parachute on your motorcycle today.
I do have.
You've talked about that in the past, and I know you've tried it in the past, and today is going to try it again.
Yeah, so back in 2001 is whenever the parachute was finally finished and developed and we tested it. I have to say that whenever we were in Orlando at Orlando Speed World
You said in 2001?
2001 is when it was finished.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that crazy? 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But 2001.
2021 or 2001? I was thinking for a minute there.
Wow, that's how old I am. In 2021.
Well, you were racing in 2001, so I was like, wow, you're way ahead of the curve.
Thanks for catching that because it's just...
Sure.
Yeah, it was in 2021
okay, all right.
when the parachute was finally finished, developed, installed. And Richard Jackson was working with me at the time, and we went to Orlando Speed World.
Yep.
And Richard was like, all about, hey, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine. And I made the first pass, went just past 1,000 foot, deployed the parachute, and he came and picked me up on the pit bike. And he's like all excited, and I go, what? And he goes, man, I was scared to death. He said, I wouldn't have done that. And I go, why? And he said, because nobody's ever done it. And I go, well, hey, it's like, thanks for not being all worried, and getting me nervous before I pushed the button. But it was easy. The next time we went a little further, a little faster. Yeah. And that's the only 2 times that we've actually deployed it. But that was our test, just to see if it would work. Okay. And then we went to NHRA to see if we could get it approved for running competition. I love riding the motorcycle, and I know going down the track that I have the ability, if I feel uncomfortable, shut the bike off. However, once I'm 190 plus miles an hour, and should I have a brake failure, or should it be a really short track, or should there be an oil down from myself, right? The engine blew, and there's now oil that's on the back tire.
Or should NHRA have added more weight to the motorcycle that makes it harder to stop?
Yeah, so originally it wasn't the weight, but it was all those other things. Yep. And so, the top fuel bikes have been running parachutes successfully, safely, for almost 20 years or more. Yep. So the NHRA, they said, nope, not at this time, send us more data and such. And I sent some, and it went to Bob Blackwell, and Bob Blackwell has since retired, and it just kind of went to the wayside. So whenever I got the message that they were adding an additional 15 pounds of weight, now I'm at 660 pounds, and at Redding or at a short track like Pomona, California, that's short and rough in the shutdown, that made me nervous that at 660 pounds I wouldn't be able to stop. And not that the motorcycles back in the day, the Harleys were 660 pounds, but they're also 160 cubic inch. And so their engine brake
Sure.
is way more effective than a Suzuki. And so they had that additional safety to slow them down when they were at that weight. Now, whenever we tested the parachute in Orlando, you would think, oh my gosh, they're deploying a parachute. You've seen the funny cars and the Pro Stock cars and Top Fuel, I mean, the huge deceleration. The way this is designed is to work about the same effectiveness as an engine brake. So the very first time and second time, clutched it, turned the throttle off, pushed the button, the chute came out, and it felt as though I simply let the clutch back out.
Gotcha.
Just a slow
Gotcha.
And so knowing that, and knowing that it's not going to be a hard jerk, and a lot of people's concern is, well, what if there's a crosswind? Well, physics is this. If you are traveling faster than the wind, the crosswind will not affect you until the motorcycle slows down to be slower than the crosswind. Then the crosswind could blow it and pull the bike. However, the chute is so much smaller than even the Top Fuel bikes, of the cars, that it was designed for a motorcycle that weighs between 590 pounds to 675 pounds, traveling anywhere from 190 miles an hour all the way to 240 miles an hour. So we have that huge window that we could go, and it's not going to put too much negative G on the motorcycle that would be a danger. The only thing that the rider, the person that is riding the motorcycle, needs to understand is that, hey, you have 20 feet of parachute hanging behind you.
Yep.
Use your brain. Don't
Yep.
pull in front of
Yep.
who's pulling off the track in front of you.
Yep.
It's that simple. That's happens with the Top Fuel guys.
All right.
And the motorcycle guys that run the parachute. They just have to be conscious of it. And, you know, it's top of mind awareness for me because it's new, and so I definitely will be. And the cool thing about it is if somebody's in the other lane, they're worried about, you know, me getting in front of them with the parachute. Hey, I got a parachute out.
Yeah.
I'm going to be behind you.
Yeah.
It's going to take you way longer to stop than me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully it goes well. I know it'll go well, and NHRA has approved it to at least for the test, and after the test goes well, which I know it will, then we will either run it here this weekend in competition to get more comfortable with it before the Reading event that really, you know, I will utilize it there. Here, I don't need it.
Yeah.
But I want to, you know, become comfortable with it.
Yep.
Can't play the piano well until you practice. So
Yep.
That's we're gonna practice here and then.
Cool. Well, we'll follow and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Are they observing today what
Yes.
you're doing? Okay.
Yeah, we have two people from NHRA Tech Departments that's here today. They've already been by. They've already looked at the system. They've already seen how it operates, how it's wired into or set up into the bike, how it does not affect and is not tied into any of the other air system. It has its own tank. It has its own release. The release button is electric, and it's a switch, a toggle switch on the dash that if it's in position number 2, my horn works going through the pits. It's kind of silly. Hey, I've had people walk out in front of me, and the person that's pushing me is looking in a different direction.
Sure.
And so it sounds like, oh, it's silly you have a horn on your Pro Stock bike. Well, it's effective because, you know, we have a crowd here.
Yeah.
So I have that.
And you got weight to play with.
Yeah. Then I have the toggle. We'll put it in the number 1 position. And as we go down the track, whenever you push that same horn button, right there where you throttle it, wide open throttle, push the button, it will then activate and deploy the parachute.
Don't get that confused with the nitrous button.
Oh, I won't. No, that's hidden and it's automatic. You'll never see it. Hopefully, the manifold doesn't blow off and it spins around on the track and then burn out. In all seriousness, it's gonna be interesting and fun.
Cool.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to
the
watching it happen.
And the the chance of being up on stage for the first time ever. I've been doing this for a long time, but end goal is to be, you know, top 10 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But a true goal is having one of those little Wally things.
Absolutely, man. That has to be the goal, right?
And I just
it's
evaded me. I made it to a final once.
Yeah.
But hey, anything's possible. God's will, it'll happen.
So I'm just remembering, this is such an old story, but Sometimes I can't help bringing it up. You and Michael Phillips here at this very track.
It was. Oh my gosh, it was. That was 2004, and it wasn't 2024. It was 2004.
Yeah.
And it was here at the U.S. Nationals. And, oh my gosh, if you hear the story from Michael, it's a complete different story than if you hear it from me.
I bet.
But it was at the last moment.
Yeah.
Mr. Byron Hines, we had blown up our engine in the final round of qualifying on Sunday. It races on Monday. And so I had told Michael, I said, hey, you're lucky. You're going to get a first run for the U.S. Nationals. That was that night. Well, of course, he didn't know, and I wasn't aware that it was going to happen, that Byron Hines brought an engine over to us and said, hey, this, get past a couple of these guys, because I had on Gel's second round, if I got by Michael first round, and of course they were in huge competition with the Star Racing team.
Back in the day.
So I show up and Michael is like, man, you told me that you weren't going to be here and I was going to have a bye run. And then he goes, don't you mess with me on the line. Well, so I had lane choice. And so my crew chief told me what lane to pick. And right before we rolled up, my crew chief told me to switch lanes. So I go, hey Michael, we changed. And you could already tell that he was already upset. Went to fire the bike to do the burnout.
Yeah.
My bike wouldn't start.
Oh shit.
My bike wouldn't start. And so he's already done his burnout and he's up at the line.
Yep.
Somebody brings another starter over.
Yep.
Fire the bike, it starts. So now I'm way behind.
Yep.
And he is already pre-stage. I mean, he's already got the top bulb on.
Yep.
So I do my burnout, I roll up, I touch the the pre-stage and then back up, and then look back. In the day we didn't have people pointing at us.
Sure.
Look back at my crew chief to tell me
whether you're straight or not.
Whether I'm straight or not. Well, whenever I did, my body rolled the bike forward.
Yeah.
And it put the pre-stage bulb back on.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that it did. I'm looking behind me. As I turned back around, my body pulled it back out. Well, whenever I had turned around and turned it on, Michael fully stages. And so I turn around and I'm sitting there. I'm not staged at all. Didn't know that I had pre-staged. And Michael is like fully staged, like ready to go. And I'm like, I wonder what he's doing. So I'm just kind of waiting for a second. And had he stayed there one more second, two at the most, I would have been, auto-timed out.
Yeah.
Because he rolled in whenever I was in, unknowingly. Well, he didn't do that. He backed completely out. Well, whenever he backed out, I bumped in, he goes in, I go right in, and he had a horrible life. It was quicker. I mean, my time was quicker anyway, but I treat him bad. And he thought it was all intentional with me. I'm not smart enough. I mean, some guys can race as long as Matt Smith can maybe jack with you a little bit on the tree like that. No offense, Matt, you're good at it. But I didn't do it. It was totally unintentional. But as we past the finish line, I look up and I see my win light. I'm all excited. Then the next thing I know,
Byron's excited.
There's Michael in my lane, and he's like shaking his fist at me. It was crazy shaking his fist. What in the world? And so I roll off the exit of the track, and I stopped, and I hadn't even got my helmet off yet. Well, Michael had pulled up right beside me, got off his bike, let it fall over on the fairing, and he comes up to me, and he literally, I had just pulled my face shield up. He headbutts me so hard it shuts my face shield. He's screaming. I don't know why he's screaming. The officials come and move him, and they had him kind of watch for a little while because he was ready to kill me. Of the events.
I'll never forget. I watched that moment live on sitting on Tommy Bolton's couch in Oklahoma City.
Well, take a story, and Michael's a way better storyteller than I am. But have him tell the story and see the difference. And he'll tell you how I started screwing with him from the night before, and I knew that my starter wasn't going to start, and I was burning him down. But no. Anyway, Michael and I are good friends now, and that's
I've seen you all back together, and we've got. I remember when when you first came back out at Gainesville, and he was there, and I got a picture of you two together.
Yeah.
And
No, he's good people. He's a good friend. So
yeah.
all
Good
is
stuff.
good. All is good.
Hopefully we see him out here. I mean, with Corey gone car racing, we don't
Who
know.
knows? It'd be cool to have him out here. We need some more bikes out.
We do.
With the adjustment in the weight,
Yep. There
being
you
all
go.
the way to 660,
Yep.
it allows for some heavier guys to get out here and on the bike. I mean, I had no idea how much weight we have stacked on that. Matter of fact, we put the parachute on. The parachute weighs 7.2 pounds.
Yep.
Well, I took it upon myself for the time off to lose 5.
Oh, okay.
So I lost 5.
Man, you had 5 to lose?
Yeah, I
We're
lost
just talking
5.
about weight with Gino Scali, and he's hit a wall, but you
Has
can
he?
lose.
No,
As skinny
I
as you are, you found another 5.
I'm
Wow.
139, 140 now.
Wow.
And so I was 145.
Wow.
So I dropped 5. We added 7. So that's a net plus 2.
Yeah.
So that still gives Tim 13 pounds because we have to add a total of 13 or 15.
Yeah.
So that gives Tim 13 pounds to offset the parachute that's now behind the rear wheel. And who knows? I mean, it's level almost with the axle.
Yep.
And so it's very low. It's
Yeah.
right behind. It's never been used before.
Yeah.
So we don't know what the 60 foot's going to be. And then with the extra weight that's on the front, who knows? Hey, God may bless me and it might be better. It could be a 102 average instead of a 105 or 6. So.
May serve as an aerodynamic device.
Just never know. Just never know.
Cool.
So,
Well, hey, good luck. I look forward to
thank you.
seeing it run.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
He's going to wait up there for you to say ready. He's going to be
Okay,
waiting
so let
there.
me turn
You won't
around.
need to turn around, okay? Okay.